Brought to you by Penguin.
Hello. My name is Michael McIntyre, and this is my book. It's called Life and Laughing, My Story, and it's written by me. And I'm going to be starting that in just one moment. I was hoping you'd read it, because I wrote it for you to read, but fine, I'll read it to you. You might be in the car, which means that it's probably better you don't read it, so you can listen to this. All right, as long as you're sitting comfortably, you've got enough fuel in the tank. That's obviously for the people who are in the car. And we shall begin with my life. Chapter 1. I wrote this on my new 27-inch iMac. I've ditched my PC and gone Mac. I was PC for years, but Microsoft Word kept criticising my grammar. And I think it started to affect my self-esteem, if I'm honest. It had a lot of issues with my sentences, and after years of it making me feel stupid, I ended the relationship and bought a Mac. It's gorgeous and enormous, and I bought it especially to write my book. That's the one you're listening to now. For the last 6 months, I've been looking to create the perfect writing environment. Aside from the computer, I have a new desk, a new chair, a new office, with newly painted walls in my new house. When my wife and I were looking at houses, she would be busily opening and closing cupboards and chattering about storage. After a few months of house hunting, I became convinced my wife's dream home would be the big yellow storage company, and I would be searching for the room to write my book. The view seemed very important. Previously, views hadn't been that important to me. I prefer TV. Views really only have one channel. But suddenly, I was keen to find a room with a view to inspire me to write a classic autobiography, like David Niven's, but about my life, not his. The house we fell in love with had a room with a beautiful view of the garden, and even a balcony for closer viewing of the view of the garden. It was a room with a view. It was perfect. I could create magic in this room. Soon after moving in, I plonked my desk directly in front of the balcony window. I stood behind the desk, drinking in the view of my garden, and I thought, I need a new chair, a throne of creativity. With this view and the right chair, I can't possibly fail. The big question, when office chair purchasing, of course, is to swivel or not to swivel. I would love to find out how many of the great literary works of the 20th century have been written by swivelling writers. Were D.H. Lawrence, J.R.R. Tolkien, or Virginia Woolf slightly dizzy when they penned their finest works? I tried out several swivel chairs in Habitat on the Finchley Road for so long that I got told off. I realised a swivel chair would be an error. I'd have too much fun. I might as well put a slide, a seesaw, or a bouncy castle in my office. So I settled on a chair whose biggest selling feature was that you can sit on it. With my chair, desk, and view sorted, it was time to address the decor. The previous owner had painted the walls of my new office orange. I'll try to be more specific. They were tangerine. No, they're more of a clementine. Maybe a mandarin. Come to think of it, they were Satsuma. Now, there was no way on God's earth I could write a book with Satsuma walls. So I went to Farron Ball on Hampstead High Street. Farron Ball is the latest in a long list of highly successful high street double acts. We've had Marks & Spencer's, Dolce & Gabbana, Bang & Olufsen. It's basically paint for posh people in Farron Ball. I don't know who Farrow was, or indeed Ball, but I bet they were posh. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ball is Bobby Ball from Cannon & Ball, who tried his luck in the paint industry, encouraged by Canon's success manufacturing cameras. I perused the colour chart in Farron Ball. There are so many colours, it makes you go a bit mad trying to decide. It's also very hard to distinguish between many of them. A quick Googling, that was me Googling, of the Farron Ball colour chart reveals 10 different shades of white. We've got all white, strong white, house white, new white, white tie, you get the idea. I once bought a white DFS sofa. It was white. If you asked 100 people what colour it was, I would say that 100 of them would say it was white. In actual fact, they would all be wrong. It was Montana ice. I would suggest that even if you asked 100 Montanans during a particularly cold winter what colour it was, they would say white. After a brief discussion with my wife, she's actually colourblind, but I find it very hard to reach decisions on my own, I popped for the unmistakable colour of Brinja number 222. A slightly less pretentious description would be aubergine. Most people call it purple. My surroundings were now nearly complete. New desk, new chair, lovely view, and Brinja number 222 walls from Farron Ball. I placed my Mac on the desk and lovingly peeled off the see-through plastic that protects the screen, took a deep breath and sat down. Unfortunately, 27 inches of screen meant that my view was now completely obscured. Panic!
Sample complete. Ready to continue?